Yo, what up? Welcome back to another quick Flutter tutorial. In the last one, we created this login screen and we were able to log users in using Firebase. So now let's turn our attention to the register page, and we can toggle between the two pages and create a new user, and we'll make sure to confirm the password and things like that. So let me show you how to register a new user by jumping into the code. So in the last video, we created this login screen and we're able to sign users in and sign them out. But with that one, we actually created the user manually in Firebase, and we just sorted the logging out functionality, right? So today, let's actually register a user so that we can create this new account and then they can log in using that account. So the first thing we're going to need to do is to go to the register page if I click register now. So let's try that. So if you come to the login page, let's find where we created this text widget saying register now. So what I'm going to do is let's wrap this in a widget called a gesture detector. And if I tap this, then I want to go to a new page, right? So if I come up to the top, let's create a void callback, which is just a method that we can give to the gesture detector. So I'm going to call this show register page. And so let's require this. And so if I come back down to this gesture detector, if I tap this register now, then let's show the register page. So how do we actually do this? Now let's come to our library and create the register page. Now we're starting to get a lot of files here, so let's try to clean this up a bit and be more organized. So let's create a folder. I'm going to call one of the folders auth for authentication. And let's put our main page in here. And I'm going to create another folder called just pages. And this can be where we store like the home page and the login page. And so right now in our main.dart file, the first thing we are going to is this main page. And if you go to this main page, it's checking for any auth state changes. So if the user is logged in or not. If they're logged in, we're returning the home page. And if they're not logged in, then we're going to show them this login page. This one I'm going to change to auth page because we want to check if we should show the login page or the register page. So let's create a new file called auth page. And what I'm going to do is let's create a boolean. So initially show the login page. So let's create a boolean which is going to be a true or false value, and we'll say show login page equals to true at the beginning. And so if show login page is true, then let's return the login page. Otherwise, let's show the register page, which we haven't created. Cool, so let's just quickly create a register page. So let's create a new file called register page. And we'll create a stateful widget. And what I'm going to do, it's going to be very similar to the login page. So let's grab the scaffold here and just copy it into our new page. Now obviously we're going to have to change some of these things up. So I'm just going to import this Google font. And let's also make sure to grab these text controllers. And same thing as what we did for the login page, let's also create the void callback method. So show login page this time. And let's require this as well. So we're gonna have to change a couple things. Like for example, in this hello again, welcome back, you've been missed. This is for a login screen. So let's change this up and say, hello there. Register below with your details. And then this method, we want to say sign up. So let's come to the top and create this sign up method. So this should be a future. And we'll take care of this sign up method in just a second. What is this last red? So this one is now going to be show login page. Okay, cool. So we created our register page now. So let's come back to this auth page and import what we just created. And we're going to have to fill out this. So both of these, show register page and show login page, this happens when we click on this little blue text widget, right? So let's create a method here called toggle screens. And so if we click on one of these text widgets, then let's call this method. And what toggle screens is going to do is we're going to rebuild the state, and let's just say show login page is equal to not show login page. So because this is a boolean, it's just going to be the reverse of whatever it currently is. Cool, and now let's come to this main page, and we forgot to import this as well. Cool, so initially we were just showing the login page. Now we're showing the auth page, and this is going to allow us to toggle between the login page and the register page. So let's save this and let's give this a go. So if I click on this, then you can see it's toggling between the two. And I should actually change the button as well. So instead of saying sign in, we should say sign up, and we should also say login. I am a member. Cool, so this is the login screen initially. If I want to register, then it changes this up, and also the button is now sign up, and we have the option to go to the login page. Cool, so this is how we differentiate between the two. Cool, so it's basically set up for us to now sign the user up. So if I go to the register page, once the user types out their details and puts in some password, if I click sign up, it's going to call this method. And so what we're going to do is Firebase auth.instance and create user with email and password. And this is similar to what we had before. Let's give it our email controller, but just the text, and let's just trim it just so that it formats nicely. And same thing for this one as well. Cool, so we can test this out. Now, just before we give this a go, if you go to your Firebase, right now we have this one user that we manually created in the last video. So let's try to see if it pops up here when we try to create directly from our app. So let's go to register now, and let's just give it a test email, right? So test@gmail.com, and let's just give it some password. Cool, so it says signed in as this new email that we just created. And if you come back to the Firebase, there it is. We just created this user just then. So it's working. Now, one last thing I just want to show you before we finish this video is when you register now, you should actually have some more text fields here to do some validation. So for example, if you look in the password text field, we should copy this and we can say confirm password text field, right? So I'm going to create a new controller up here, final confirm password controller. Cool, so now we have these 3 text fields. We're going to need a gap here. Cool, that looks good. So when we sign up, let's just do a little check here in the sign up method. So before we create the user, let's just make sure. Let's put this in an if statement. So if password is confirmed, I want to create this method separately here, and we're going to return a boolean because it's going to be either true or false. So boolean password confirmed. What we're going to do is check if password controller text, I guess trim, is equal to confirm password controller text. So if the password controller and the confirmed password controller are the same, then let's return true. And if they're not, return false. Cool, so when we sign up, let's just do a quick check and make sure that the password and the confirmed password are the same. And if that's the case, then let's create the user. Cool, let's give this a go. So I'm going to do another test. Let's say apple@gmail.com, and the password, I'm going to say password, and let's make it not match this time just to see if it doesn't work. Yep, it doesn't work. But if I make the password the same, then we're signed in. Cool. So I might focus on that in the next video, more about the validation, just to make sure that, it's a legit user. So similar to what we did, like confirming the password and things like that. So when you register a user, there's a lot to consider, right? So yeah, maybe we'll do that in the next couple of videos. But with this one in particular, you can now log in, and now we can actually create users as well. So we've made some good progress, I reckon. So I'm just going to leave it at that for this video. Let me know if you have any problems, but other than that, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.